Hello, I'm Brian May. I'm the Vice President of Product Management at Profound Logic. I'm also the product owner of our Profound API product. And I wanted to take some time to make a series of videos just talking about different use cases for APIs. So for the first video, I thought I'd go back to my roots. So before I came to Profound, I was in programmer for a manufacturing company, in apparel manufacturing actually, and I worked in a lot of products and a lot of projects that required interfacing with hardware. This would have been the early 2000s. So we had, we did our own manufacturing and warehousing. So we had a lot of opportunities to have automation and technology on the shop floor. So I can remember some of those being rather difficult to do. In those days, interfaces weren't quite as easy. I can remember specifically we were doing some automation in the warehouses with conveyor belts and diverting products here and there. Also, I can remember doing some projects with RFID in the early days, when the technology was so new and everyone was kind of scrambling to find the fit for it. But back then, the way that we interfaced with that hardware was we had to actually do socket programming. Those types of devices had computers attached to them called PLCs, programming computers that you could communicate with to control the hardware, and all of that had to be done in real time. And so you needed to communicate quickly, very efficiently. The hardware would make a call out to to your back-end server, and that server would have to then take that information and send it back. And really, this was before the days of web APIs being the preferred method for basically all communication. So sockets was the route we were taking. So I remember creating those socket programs being very difficult. You're talking about writing interfaces at a very low level. I'm not sure there are tools out there to help. Even in RPG, there were examples of doing socket programming, but it was still rather complex. Coordinating all the messages that needed to go back and forth, handling the data sizes and everything going across the wire. It took a lot of work, and I'd say in a lot of cases, we had what we thought was a working model, and we had to come back and make some adjustments because anytime you put something into the real world, you run the risk that things go wrong, right? Every plan works until it meets resistance. So we spent a lot of time on that. Now I was really proud of the work we did. We had, for a company the size of what we were doing really cool things, I thought. It was a feather in my cap, I guess, that and not to say I was the only developer involved in those projects, but those projects were kind of formative to my career. Those projects, taught me that, RPG could do more than what we were doing, and we went out and did it. It also made me want to learn more about things like ILE, and not to get too far into the RPG weeds. But again, it gave me a perspective that interfacing your applications with external devices is something that can be really powerful to a business. So now we have the ability to interface with those types of devices using REST API interfaces, which is, oh wow, I wish I had had that back in the day. We have customers here at Profound that are doing that right now with our Profound API product, that are interfacing with conveyor systems and machines in their manufacturing floors and in their warehouses in order to automate things. And we're all trying to do more with less. And anytime we can get into automation, then we have the opportunity to get immediate return on investment. So as you're thinking about APIs, a lot of people, when they think APIs, they're thinking, oh, well, I'm talking to the cloud, or oh, I'm putting a new user interface in front of my applications and I need APIs on the back end in order to feed information to that new user interface. And those are valid use cases. But don't forget there are others. So, if this is something that your company's thinking about as you're looking at hardware devices, you might want to look at the interfaces that they offer. I'd say if they offer a REST API interface for that interface, you should really jump on it. And then look for a good tool like Profound API to help you to easily build that interface. The projects I did, 20 years ago took months to do, to actually implement those interfaces and get those machines doing what we expected them to do. And, with modern tooling and APIs like are available now, we could have done those projects in weeks, not months. It really could have made our jobs a whole lot easier and allowed us to get on to more projects. So again, when you're thinking about API, don't think about just the everyday things that everyone talks about. There are a lot of opportunities for APIs to allow you to interface. So with that, we'll have some more videos and talking about some various topics related to API going forward. But thanks for your time.